Hello, everybody. Lovely day. It's great to be here in Abergavenny. I want to talk about MSG. Now, hold your applause. It's probably not what you think, because I'm actually going to speak in defense of MSG. MSG is one of the most, thank you very much. It's one of, we got some MSG supporters out here. MSG is one of the most unfairly maligned chemical compounds I know of. We've all seen products that say no MSG on it, boasting about how purportedly natural or healthy or safe they are to eat. But I'm going to tell you why that's a load of rubbish. Basically, there's two big problems with the no MSG label. One is that it's usually a lie. Not always deliberate, but often to mislead. If you read the label carefully on a packet of crisps, for example, that says no MSG, if it ever says autolyzed yeast powder, whey protein powder, yeast extract powder, all of these things are naturally occurring MSG. Now, okay, you're not adding MSG directly to your crisps, fine, good for you, but you would never add, say, Marmite to a product and say no salt. It's exactly the same thing going on. So these people are lying to you. Now, beyond that, there's no reason for them to lie, because MSG is harmless, and also some scientists say it may actually be good for you. Now, MSG is short for monosodium glutamate. It's a sodium compound of glutamic acid, which we know is one of the main chemicals that gives us an umami flavor, a savory character, a moorishness and depth of flavor on our palates. Also, inosine and guanylate are responsible for umami sensations. But MSG is the most popular. It works synergistically with sodium. But there has never, ever, and I've done the research, been any conclusive evidence that MSG causes any health problems whatsoever. It has all been anecdotal. But, of course, if you don't put MSG in your food, then at least you have something good to say about it. So just think about if crisp packets started saying no vitamins, it would be almost exactly the same thing. That's the only thing they can say about it, but of course we know better than to think, oh, vitamins are bad because they're saying it's not in there. MSG is the same way. It's like a scapegoat. It's something that bad food can say about itself to look good. But there's never been any scientific studies that have proved any negative health benefits to MSG. There's been a couple that have shown neural damage in rats, but we aren't rats, and also those rats are being fed 10% of their body weight in MSG a day. Now, if you think about that, that would be the equivalent of 2 bottles of beer full of MSG for us. It's just nonsense. You couldn't eat that much of anything, except for beer, of course. So anyway, MSG, first of all, we need to get people to stop maligning it. It's absolutely harmless. And I did mention it, some people think it might be good for you. And I'm convinced on that idea as well. First of all, it is a lower sodium seasoning. It's like a super salt. You can get more flavor in your food using MSG than you can with ordinary sodium chloride, NaCl, which means lower sodium intake, more bang for your buck, and also it contains an essential amino acid, glutamic acid. And also, just finally, if you think that you're avoiding MSG, you're not. If you're eating like any normal, modern human being, eating Marmite, soy sauce, cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, tomatoes, peas, scallops, bacon, prosciutto, Serrano ham, it goes on and on. All these things that have miso, my favorite miso, all of these things have naturally occurring MSG in them. So you're eating MSG whether you want to or not. It just depends on the form of it. But don't worry, because you're still alive and you're doing great. So just keep eating how you're eating, and we'll all be all right. So go get yourself a bottle of MSG and start playing around. I'm going to go cook with some MSG over at the Priory. Have a good day.